Workshop topics: a Tumbler Polishing Machine, unboxing and first impressions. First of all, a cautionary tale. This is the second of these that I've had. The first one arrived damaged, but after a phone call to Amazon, it was returned. This is the second one, and initially it's not looking good. The unit is in the box, but it's upside down. It clearly says on the box, made in China. No surprises there then. When the first one arrived, the box was completely undamaged, but the parts inside of it were broken. And I really am having a bit of a déjà vu. What's that that's fallen out? Oh, it's a plug adapter. I wondered what was rattling about in the box when I moved it. No sign of any attempt at packing it, it was just literally put in the box with the rest of the parts. The packing is okay though, and thankfully it's looking like the parts inside the packaging are okay too. On the first one that I received, the door on the drum was cracked, and the front panel was very badly scratched. As you can see, there are some parts rattling about inside the drum. The parts are a spare O-ring, a spare drive belt, as well as a bag full of very small steel balls. For the moment, everything's looking okay. And the good news is, this one has an instruction book. I use the term book lightly. I should have said an instruction leaflet. But nevertheless, we have instructions. When I was looking for a rotary tumbler like this, I first of all looked on eBay, and then I looked on Amazon. I've seen them on eBay for just over £60, but I wanted a more upmarket one, so I went over to Amazon originally, and I paid £148 for the first one. And to be honest, apart from the writing on the front panel, it was identical in every way. It had obviously come out of the same factory in China. This one was also bought from Amazon for just over £86. You have to watch these online sellers because a lot of the time they will have multiple listings and you're looking at the same thing, but they're all at different prices. First impressions. The casing for the mechanics is really good, and the pulleys are very well machined, and altogether, for this sort of money, it's good. There are two knobs and a switch on the front, as there is on all of them. The right-hand one is self-explanatory. It's a speed control with a pause in between each switchable part. The other knob, when you turn it to the right, is just a timer, and when you turn the knob to the left, it stays on continuously. Although at the moment this one's not doing anything at all. I plugged it into the mains, but nothing. I'm assuming that it's this very cheap and nasty adapter plug. I removed the two screws that held the unit together and applied some pressure to each of the contacts to close them slightly. Then I put it back together. On the first of these that I got, it looked like someone had been playing football with the front panel. It was really badly scratched. This front panel only has one or two minor scratches, but the switch was hanging out when I first got it. I just pushed that back into place and it's okay. The left-hand knob is a clockwork timer that also switches the unit on and off. And if anyone out there knows what antenna means, or on the light, pose, please let me know. You can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, so this is just a generic timer that will eventually return to off. If you turn it to the antenna setting, it's on continuously, and with the small red switch pressed to the left, this causes the motor to stop and then rotate in the opposite direction, but if you press the switch to the right, it runs continuously in one direction. This is a curious thing. The front panel is dirty, but the dirt is on the other side of the front panel. You can't clean it off. It's been done during manufacture, and this is just one of the problems with Chinese products that I find. It's all in the detail, or lack of. And the quality control of these things is very suspicious. It seems to me that even with defects, the parts are still packed and sold on. I wish I could have bought a more expensive one. I tried that with the first one, but it was exactly the same as this one. The question is, does it work, and is it going to work for a long time? I'm not too thrilled with the drive belt. I don't see why it needs to be toothed on both sides like this, because the pulleys aren't toothed. Either a flat belt or a round belt would have done the same job. And if this belt breaks, which it probably will over time, I'll fit the spare one that came with the unit, and then after that, a couple of O-rings side to side. The purpose of this unboxing video is not to have a go at Chinese manufacture. After all is said and done, at least it seems to work. Here is the revolving drum. This is a 5 kg drum, not to be confused with the smaller 3 kg version. Apart from the cosmetic issues and the fact that the plug adapter didn't work, this thing looks okay for what it is. A plastic lever with a metal bar and metal fittings allows access to the inside of the drum, and the first thing I'm going to do is take out the parts that are in there. Here's a spare drive belt, and now here's a spare O-ring for the door, followed by a bag of small steel balls. Steel balls and pins for use in these sort of things are normally stainless steel, but I wouldn't think these that come with the unit are. Here you can see how the cam lever holds the door in place, very simple and quite foolproof. With the drum sat in place on the unit, first of all I throw the switch to make it auto reverse, then I set it to Entina, and whatever Entina is, it makes it go. I've set it to the lowest speed, this is on number 1, and I would think really for what I want, it will be usually on the lowest speed. Here's a close-up of the controls showing the settings. I started it off on speed number 1, now it's on 2, and now I'm changing the speed to speed number 3. The good thing about this unit is it seems to be fairly quiet. The knocking you can hear is just a moulding line on the orange polyurethane rings around the edge of the unit. Here is speed number 4, and this is really going fast. I would think if there was any media in there like the steel balls, the centrifugal force would just hold them in the same position on the inside of the drum. In this clip, using my finger and thumb, I'm just testing how much power is available at the drive spindle. The exception to everything that I've said about this so far regarding quality and finish is the base. The paintwork is excellent and the base is heavy and very well painted. I've just thought of another application for this machine. It could be used for exercising an overweight hamster. In fact, my granddaughter Emily has just got a gerbil. I wonder if she'll lend me it. Perhaps not. To make it a successful exercise machine for a small furry rodent, I would have to drill some holes in the cover. Time to try it and see what it's capable of doing. I've tipped all of the steel balls into the drum, and if you've been watching the series about electroplating, you will recognise these from my early experiments. I copper plated first of all a 10p piece, which wasn't very successful, and then a 50p piece, which was not bad. I'm now going to attempt to remove the copper plating using this tumbler. Then I'll be able to spend the money and be 60p up on the deal. This is trial and error. I'm not using any abrasive in here, just the steel balls. I'm thinking that speed number 2 is probably going to be best for this. The good news is the unit is not overly noisy. Even when using steel balls as media, I think the media I'm going to use is this stuff. And probably this, but I can't really remember what it is. It's some sort of additive that polishes things up. After a short while, I noticed a copper coating on the inside of the drum, so something's happening in there. At this stage, I'm just messing about with the speeds to see what happens. And there you have it. That's about it for the unboxing video. Stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.